Please subscribe my channel. I mocked my husband at work without thinking it would matter. It felt harmless at the time, almost justified, like one of those moments you laugh off and forget before the day ends. But some moments don't end. They wait. They grow teeth. And then they come back to take something from you. It happened on a Wednesday, the kind of ordinary day that makes you careless. We worked in the same company, different departments but the same floor. Everyone knew we were married. I used to think that gave us some kind of status, like a shared identity that protected us. I didn't realize how fragile that illusion was. My husband, Daniel, had always been quiet at work. Not shy, not weak, just reserved. He did his job, stayed late when needed, never complained. People mistook that silence for a lack of ambition. I did too, if I'm being honest. At home I was the louder one, the confident one. I was the one who talked about promotions, visibility, being noticed. Daniel listened. He always listened. That day, a group of us were gathered near the coffee machine. Casual chatter, half work, half gossip. Someone mentioned an upcoming promotion, a management role everyone was speculating about. Names were thrown around. Strong personalities. Big talkers. People who knew how to sell themselves. Then someone laughed and said, "Well, at least we know it won't be Daniel." I laughed too. That was my mistake. Not just laughed. I added to it. I said something like, "Yeah, he's great at staying invisible. That's his superpower." It landed harder than I expected. The group laughed, a little too loudly. The kind of laugh that fills silence because no one wants to be the one who stops it. I remember feeling a brief flicker of discomfort, but I ignored it. I told myself it was fine. Daniel wasn't there. He wouldn't hear about it. And even if he did, he'd understand. He always understood. I didn't know he was standing just around the corner. I found out later from a colleague who avoided my eyes when she told me. Apparently, Daniel had walked away without saying anything. No confrontation. No scene. Just quiet footsteps down the hallway. When I came home that night, he acted normal. Too normal. He asked how my day was. He listened while I talked. He nodded in the right places. He didn't mention work. He didn't mention the promotion. He didn't mention the laugh. That should have scared me. Instead, I relaxed. I thought I'd gotten away with it. The next few weeks passed like any others. Work was busy. The promotion rumors intensified. Meetings were called. Managers whispered. People started dressing sharper, speaking louder, trying harder to be seen. I was confident. Not because I thought I'd get promoted, but because I was sure Daniel wouldn't. And that, somehow, made me feel secure. Then the announcement came. We were called into the main conference room. Everyone sat a little straighter. The director stood at the front, smiling in that controlled corporate way. He talked about leadership, consistency, trust. Words I'd heard before but never really listened to. Then he said Daniel's name. For a second I thought I misheard it. I actually looked around, waiting for someone else to stand up. But Daniel stood. Calm. Composed. No surprise on his face. Almost like he'd known all along. The room clapped. Some people looked shocked. Others nodded slowly, like the pieces were finally clicking into place. I felt my stomach drop. Not because he got promoted, but because I suddenly realized how wrong I had been. Daniel walked to the front, shook hands, said a few words. He thanked the team. He thanked the management. He talked about hard work and respect. He didn't look at me. Not once. That night he didn't come home. At first, I assumed he was celebrating with colleagues. A dinner. Drinks. I told myself not to overthink it. But midnight passed. Then 1 in the morning. His phone went straight to voicemail. When he finally texted, it was just one line. "I'll be staying elsewhere for a while." I stared at the screen, reading it over and over, waiting for more. An explanation. Anger. Anything. But there was nothing else. The next day at work he was different. Not cold. Not rude. Just distant. Professional. He spoke to me the same way he spoke to everyone else. With courtesy. With boundaries. Like I was someone he used to know. I tried to talk to him during lunch. He listened just like he always had. But this time when I finished speaking, he didn't reassure me. He didn't soften his voice. He didn't say it was okay. He said, "You showed me who I was in your eyes. I just decided to believe you." That sentence stayed with me. It still does. I wanted to apologize. I did apologize. Over and over. I told him it was a joke. That I didn't mean it. That everyone laughs at things like that. He nodded, but his eyes didn't change. He said, "Jokes reveal comfort. Comfort reveals truth." I didn't recognize the man sitting across from me. Or maybe I did, and that was the problem. Maybe I had never really seen him before. Over the following weeks, Daniel moved into his new role effortlessly. People respected him. They listened when he spoke. His silence, once mocked, now carried weight. Meanwhile, I became the subject of quieter conversations. Sympathetic looks. Awkward pauses. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. At home, the apartment felt hollow. His side of the closet was empty. His toothbrush gone. Small absences that screamed louder than any argument ever had. I realized then that I hadn't just mocked him at work. I had reduced him. In front of others. In front of myself. I had mistaken loudness for strength and silence for weakness. And he had paid attention. Daniel never officially said he was leaving me. He didn't need to. His actions said enough. He had moved forward into a life where he was respected, not diminished. Where his value wasn't a punchline. And I was left behind, replaying a laugh that lasted 3 seconds and cost me everything.